This is John D'Agostino with D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm, and I'm proud to be a sponsor and partner of WABC Radio and Sid and Friends in the Morning, live from Israel. God bless America.
I'm attorney Jenna D'Agostino, continuing the legacy my father, John D'Agostino, started 35 years ago.
I grew up on these New York and New Jersey streets. They shaped me. I'm attorney John D'Agostino from D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm.
Call our team first.
888-24-LAW-24. 888-24-LAW-24. D'Agostino Law Bite Back.
The cold winter weather is coming, and the team at Peerless Boilers, they're ready to help you prepare for this season. It's time to make sure your home is nice and warm for the cold weather. Save loads of money on your fuel bill. Do it now before it's too late and you've got a mess on your hands. Start thinking about replacing your old beast of a boiler with a new high-efficiency Peerless Boiler. Go to peerlessboilers.com, pop in your zip code, and you'll find a dealer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers, and proud sponsor of Sid and Friends in the Morning, live from Israel.
77 WABC.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
No, I get by with a little help from my
friends. Columbus Day, baby. Louis with the America theme. I just got a text on WhatsApp from my friend Gabriel Boxer. One Israel Fund. He spent the week in Israel last week with me and Justin. He's known as the kosher guru. So I'll make this quick before I get the good one. So, you know, I broke the fast on Saturday again for the 100th time with Bibi Netanyahu at a friend's house. And, never met Bibi before Saturday, but he was great. He loved me. And I, ended up meeting everybody last week, President Herzog, and went to the wall with Sarah Netanyahu. But, as soon as I met Bibi and put it on Instagram, it didn't take 30 minutes, and some local Israeli journalist wrote a terrible hit piece.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Called me a billionaire. He said, Sid Rosenberg hanging out with Simon Balak, all the billionaires, because their contention is that if you have money, Bibi wants to hang out with you because he takes everybody's money, So Gabe tells me that really moments ago in, this paper, Haaretz, they wrote another hit piece. This time they included Gabe's name, where again they referred to me as a billionaire. And the only reason why Bibi and Sarah talk to me is that I give them money and that I'm as disgraceful as they are. So
yeah, you wish.
Yeah, I know. This guy can't smoke a cigar without them writing a story about him.
Unbelievable.
Ridiculous. See, Michael Goodwin, New York Post columnist, he would never do something like that. So that's why he's my friend. He's on the show right now. Mike, happy Columbus Day, buddy. How are you?
So far, so good, Sid. I didn't know you were a billionaire. I mean, I would have been nicer to you, right?
No, of course. I got news for you. I didn't know. My son sent me a text. He's 15. He read the article. I was in Israel. He was in Queens, and he goes, "Dad, where are you hiding the money?" But that's how much they hate Bibi over there. The Trump derangement syndrome, which is alive and well here. Even folks that like Trump find a way to criticize him. And the people that hate him, hate him. It is the same thing. Now, again, the idea that Bibi won't win an election is just wrong. He would win again today. He still remains the most popular public figure there. But the people that hate him, they really hate him.
Well, yes, that's true, and there's a lot of similarities. But the one thing about Netanyahu that I have come to admire is just his ability to keep trucking on. I mean, he is the longest-serving prime minister in Israel's history, and he's done that through a series of elections. I mean, let's face it. I mean, sometimes he reverses course and builds a new coalition, as he has had to do over the course of his long tenure. And the other thing about it is that the Democrats in America just hate him. And going back to Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and now, of course, Joe Biden. I mean, they've all done what they can to meddle in Israel's elections and defeat him. I mean, it sort of came and went without a lot of notice. But when the White House invited Gantz, his rival,
Benny Gantz,
to come to America and meet with then Harris. We don't know if he also met with Biden. That was not public if he did. And then he went to the UK, met with David Cameron, the UK foreign minister, and it was clear this was an attempt to undermine Netanyahu politically and in his administration of the war. I mean, there's nothing quite like that kind of arrogance to say that, oh, we love Israel, yes, we support Israel. Now, go pick a president we agree with. Go pick a prime minister that we like. I mean, it's really shocking, but this is what actually happened not so long ago. Biden and Tony Blinken telling them what targets they could strike. Again, we have never seen anything quite so bold as the attacks on Netanyahu by a succession of Democratic presidents.
Interesting word, bold. That's a perfect word, but I would say grotesque. But you're right. I want to get to your column, too. Here are the 3 reasons why I'm voting for Donald Trump. It's a big deal. When Michael Goodwin writes in the New York Post, he's voting for Donald Trump. That's a big deal, but I'll get to that after the break. I want to spend time here on Israel because you have been a steadfast supporter of Israel. As you know, I've been there twice over the last 6 months. It means a lot to me. And you come from a place of sense. I'm a Jewish kid, so I'm biased, okay? You come from a place of sense. I admit it, Mike. Where we are right now in this war, it was interesting going back because they're still in it. You know, I know people are still dying from 9/11, from a series of illnesses, but we're not getting attacked here every day, okay? Thank God, for the most part, there's been no major attacks since 23 years ago. Israel, a year later, it is worse now than it was then. Raging in the north, battles in Judea and Samaria, you guys call it the West Bank. And, of course, Gaza is still a major issue. I was there last Monday, a week ago today, talking to Trump, and there were explosions going off in the background. So how do you think Israel has handled it so far, and what do you see Bibi doing from here?
Well, look, I think Israel is in perhaps the most precarious position in 50 years. I mean, when you look at what has happened in terms of Gaza and Hamas coming across, and then you have Hezbollah just driving 65,000 Israelis out of their homes. I mean, in effect,
more like 85,000, but yes, many.
But in effect, the borders of Israel were shrinking. People could not live along that northern border. And then, of course, you have Iran fighting against the little Satan in preparation for fighting the great Satan. That would be the United States. So I think the number of fronts that Iran has managed to open against Israel, somebody the other day counted 7. I mean, certainly the West Bank has been exploding a lot lately, and I think that is by design.
I mean, by the way, just last night, in the same place I had dinner last Wednesday in the West Bank, a town called Binyami, they killed 4 IDF soldiers.
Yeah. So, and how is the weaponry getting in there, right? I mean, is it Hamas agents? Is it the Palestinian Authority agents? I mean, it's you read some of the groups that translate, like Palestinian Media Watch, translate into English what is being said on Arabic media in the region, and particularly by the Palestinians. I mean, it is head turning because they are all preaching the same thing: kill Jews, kill Jews.
Right.
We'll pay you. We'll protect you. I mean, the pay to slay is a real thing, and the United States is contributing to it still. Trump stopped it. Biden restarted it. But look, Sid, just to the larger point of your question, I think Israel is doing what it must. It's paying a very heavy price in terms of its own citizens, its soldiers, and it's paying a price in the world in terms of for lack of a better phrase, the public relations of it all. But it has no choice, because if it doesn't fight to defend itself, nobody will. And it's just when you see, there's almost an upside to the college idiots and their kafia and their slogans about from the river to the sea, because it shows how stupid it all is. It shows how evil it is, in the sense that ultimately it is about the destruction of Israel.
That's it.
And why is that? Why do they want to destroy Israel? It's nothing but the ancient hatred of anti-Semitism.
You just nailed it.
Other explanation.
That's it. You just nailed it. It's not about the land. It's not about religion. It's not about God. They hate us. The Palestinians, unlike the Iranians, who the people are good people. They hate the regime. Unlike the Lebanese, they're good people. They hate Hezbollah. Palestinians, wrong. You people here in New York have no idea what you're talking about. They side with Hamas overwhelmingly. And by the way, Jordan is also a country you got to watch out for. Supposedly, they're also shipping weapons. And I stood, you know that river they talk about, in River to the Sea? These idiots here think it's the Hudson River. I actually went last Wednesday. Yeah, I actually went last Wednesday to the Jordan-Israel border and stuck my hand in that river, the River to the Sea. And it's only about a 15 feet distance between Israel and Jordan. But that river, you know, of course, they come from all over the world, Russians, Christians, to baptize their children. But I was at that river just last Wednesday. I got to say, Michael, it was kind of cool.
Oh, sure. Look, it's a magical land, right? I mean, you go and I remember my first trip in 2000, right before the Camp David Accords, and you know, I had never been. I'd learned so much. I had a good friend. We had good friends who were our hosts and showing us, and we went camping in the Golan Heights. I mean, we went hiking and camping in the Golan Heights. Wow. I mean, it was extraordinary. That the land is so amazing, and of course, Jerusalem and all of the history of religion is right there. I mean, to go into these buildings and to be there and to see what's going on and to just feel the weight of human history, right there, the religions. At that point, I was able to go. My wife and I went up on the top of Temple Mount. We were able to go in the Dome of the Rock and all of that.
That's
I'll
great.
just one quick little funny story. So we're sitting there. I mean, you have to wear like a long pants or a skirt. They give you a skirt, and my wife and I were having someone take a picture of us, and I put my arm around her shoulder, and some guy comes running up. No touching.
That's right. She's a female. I can see that. That's right. That is funny. Mike, that's a great story. I got to take a quick break. I got about 5 more minutes with you. I want to discuss your article on Trump, why you're voting for Donald Trump, and also, as unpopular as Bibi is in some places, I'm going to be at the Columbus Day Parade today. There are 2 people that are going to be there. They're pretty unpopular, too. More of Michael Goodwin, but after these short messages.
The Auschwitz Jewish Center Foundation is a not-for-profit organization whose mission is to utilize lessons from the Holocaust to fight hatred and bigotry in all forms through educational programs and provide direct humanitarian assistance to victims of mass atrocities and genocide. Your support helps ensure AJC's vital work to fight anti-Semitism and all forms of hatred through education. They use the lessons of the Holocaust to honor the past and transform the future for generations to come. For all the details and to support the Auschwitz Jewish Center Foundation, visit ajcfus.org. That's ajcfus.org.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Entertaining and informative. 77 WABC.
This is a great song. Phil Collins, great song. Brian's coming up next. Michael Goodwin, New York Post. Him and Divine, 2 best columnists in the country. There is not even a close third. I mean, they're so far ahead, Goodwin and Divine. It's over. Mike, I do want to get, before I get to Trump, we got about 5 minutes. I want to get to this parade today. I've been promoted to an Alfa Romeo from a convertible Cadillac. They're making a big deal, Vivolo and Karen Damasi, about me. But 2 people that'll be there today, I don't think will get a warm reception. But maybe I'm wrong. And I'm talking about the mayor, Eric Adams, and the governor, Kathy Hochul. Your thoughts?
Well, look, the Adams situation is really, I feel like he's teetering, it could go either way, but it's most likely, I don't believe he can finish the term. I think the storm is going to grow. Now, if there are more charges, I think that will do him in. But there's also something unstable about this, Sid, simply in the fact that the administration is melting away. And only one other person in the administration has been indicted, and that person resigned. All the other people who resigned were not indicted. They were being investigated. But so the mayor's been indicted, and he stays. The people who are being investigated are all forced out. There's something unstable about that, and I think that at some point it's either got to be fixed, meaning the charges are dropped, or he defeats them in some way, or he has to go too. Yeah. Look, I'm aware that the whirlwind is behind him. Jumaane Williams for a day would be a disaster. But I think there are important principles here, and Adams says he's going to fight these charges. I think he has to say more about them. I think he's letting his lawyers do the talking, which I understand, but he's an elected official, fighting to keep his job and telling New Yorkers that he did not do these things. I see no reason why he cannot give a speech, hold a press conference, and talk about these charges. I mean, his lawyers would advise against it, but he doesn't work for his lawyers. Right. He works for the people of the city.
Good point. And that would be more transparent. Right now, people think he's lying. They don't care. Either way, I believe his political career is over. It doesn't matter. He's not beating Cuomo or anybody. All right, let's get to the Trump stuff again. We've got about 3 minutes, and we'll let you roll here, Michael Goodwin. Here are the 3 reasons why I'm voting for Donald Trump. I don't care. I just want one. But you gave 3, Ben. What are the 3 reasons, Mike, you're voting for Donald Trump?
Well, when you sit down to write that, Sid, it's like, well, there are lots of reasons. So what I did was I grouped them. So there is domestic, there's foreign policy, and then, of course, there is this the culture wars that we're witnessing all around us. Everything from the transgender ideology that the Democrats are pushing to censorship, to the use of the courts for political purposes. So with domestic, obviously the most important, I think, there are 2, the border and the economy. Foreign policy, it is this idea that the Democrats do not believe in peace through strength, and Donald Trump not only believes it, he practiced it in his term. And so therefore I think that is historically the winning approach to foreign policy. And so you add these things together. As I say, there are many tenets within each group, but fundamentally what's striking is that the Wall Street Journal, among others, but they have the latest poll on this, that on all of these issues, Donald Trump is well ahead of Kamala Harris among voters who think he would do a better job than she would on domestic policy, on the border, on the economy, on Israel and Ukraine. So it then strikes me, well, then why is this race so close?
They hate him.
And that's the troubling part here.
They hate him.
I do think part of it has to do with Trump's name calling and all of that. But I think it's more than that. I think fundamentally the nation is just so polarized, and there's so much dislike for him, and it's been magnified and inflamed by the media. Yep. And that's why the assassination attempts took place. You'll never persuade me that the Democrats and the media had nothing to do with inflaming those assassinations.
Of course. Attempts. Oh, you're 100% right, Michael. 100% right. They make it worse every day. Look, the bottom line is, I had a friend call earlier and say he's going to win big. He's not going to win big. He should win big. There's no reason he shouldn't win big, as you just said, but they hate him. They legitimately hate this man. It doesn't matter. Like my friend once told me, if Donald Trump found the cure for cancer, Democrats would complain he put doctors out of business. They hate him. That's about, they really hate him. And that's why it's going to be a close race. But I do think he's going to win because smart people like you, Michael Goodwin, are writing important columns which read, here are the 3 reasons why I'm voting for Trump. Mike, great job today. We'll do it again very, very, very soon. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, Sid. Thank you.
Pleasure was mine. That's the great columnist, New York Post, Michael Goodwin.